Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. I hope you're doing well. My project today is a treat box that is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 by 3/4. And it opens like this. Looks like that. And inside I have a Happy Easter Snoopy Pin. I got these from Oriental Trading. They were $7.95 for 12 of them. And occasionally they do have free shipping on any order, so you don't have to spend $25 or $50. I think I got these and some Easter stickers, and it was free shipping, so I didn't have to spend that big amount. They're very cute. They have the little pin back, and I love Snoopy, so I also put a Twix bar in, so you can put any fun-sized candies in there also if you don't want to get the pin. And then it just closes and you tie yourself a bow. Alright, I use the Easter Bunny stamp set along with the Something Fancy dies for the image. And I also, for this top slit here, I used the Very Best Trio Punch. Alrighty. Okay, so what we need for this project is some basic white for stamping. We need a piece of Balmy blue that is 7.5 by 6. I used the Country Gingham DSP, 3 pieces of it, 2 that are 2.5 by 3.5, and 1 that is 2.5 by 1/2. Okay, and also one of these little Pom Poms that has like the tinsel kind of coming out of it. I got this, I think, at Walmart, maybe the craft store. Any one of them has usually this kind of thing. They're usually like in the kids' craft aisles, kind of. Alrighty. But you can use a plain pom-pom, or you can just leave it off if you want to. This is my host code. Please put that in if you're going to spend anything under $150. I would appreciate that. Alright, I'm going to get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 7.5-inch side. And we're going to score at 1/2, 3 1/4, 4, and 6 3/4. Then we're going to turn it to the 6-inch side, and we're going to score at 3/4, 4 1/2, and 5 1/4. And all those measurements will be on my blog that is linked below. Okay, now I'm going to fold and burnish. Okay, so how we have it here is the skinniest rectangle is on the left, and there are 2 3/4-inch strips at the top, 1 on the right and 1 on the bottom. And this is what we're going to be doing. This is a little bit taller because I changed it a little bit, but other than that, it's all the same. Okay, so we're going to start on the left-hand side. We're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge up into the skinny rectangle. Go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge each side of the square. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge each side of the square. And that's the bottom. Okay, then turn it to the other side. And we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, get rid of the bottom square, and wedge each side of this square. Okay, now we're going to get rid of these 2 rectangles. So we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, and then take these 2 rectangles off. Okay, now we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, get rid of this square on the bottom, and wedge each side of the one that's left. Okay, now go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, and wedge up into that skinny rectangle. Okay, now we're going to take a corner rounder and round the top, the sides of this top flap here. Okay. And that's what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring it and cutting it. Now this time I'm going to put my DSP on first, just so that we can do a little bit of cutting without struggling. All right, so we have the two pieces that are 2.5 by 3.5, and they're going to go right here and right here. And then the piece that is 2.5 by 1.5 is going to go up here. So we have to round the corners of one of these long sides also. And then that's going to go up here, and I'm going to put them all on with liquid glue. All right, and now we're going to get our tear and tape, and we're going to put it what's left of the skinny rectangle next to the score line. I'm going to take off the backing with my take your pick tool. I'm going to roll back any that's over the edges. Okay, we're going to flip the whole thing over, flip over the side with the tape, and then flip the other side over to meet it. Okay, I'm going to take I have a 1 1/8 circle punch, but anything close. See, I have to squeeze it in there, and I'm just going to take a little part of a circle out just right there. Now we're going to just close this for the minute like this, and we're going to put the sides in and the back, and then I'm going to put some liquid glue on the back of the front flap. And then I'm just going to make sure that the sides kind of stay straight and just give it a minute. All right, and then what we're going to do is on this top flap here, we're going to use our very best trio punch with the slit at the bottom, and you're going to put it in and just try to get it so that what's sticking out on the left and the right is about the same. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oops, I just moved it. And then I'm just going to punch, and there's your slit for the ribbon. All right, now we're just going to let this dry while we do some stamping. And we need our piece of basic white. We're going to use this image and part of this image. So I'm just going to stamp these two. Make sure that you leave enough room around the bunny to cut it out with this from the Something Fancy dies. This one usually goes right in here, so it's the middle one of these. Okay. All right, and I'm going to get some Tuxedo Black ink. And cut my bunny. Good. And then I'm going to stamp the little floral sconce looking thing. Okay, and then I'm going to place this so that the bunny's kind of in the middle. And the edge of the tail doesn't really show at the edge of the die, but it will come out fine. All right, and I'm gonna cut this and I'll be right back. Okay, there's our bunny. And then for the flowers, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have this leaf and these two flowers. Okay, so I'm just going to fussy cut that out before I color it. Okay, so we just land up with the two flowers and that one leaf. All right, now we're going to do some pretty easy coloring. I'm just going to use light crumb cake for the whole bunny. I'm just going to fill them in with light. We're not going to do, except let's go right under the eye and put a little line to above the mouth, and we're not going to do any of this here white, his belly and under his mouth. And then I'm just going to put the rest all around. I'm going to color in with light crumb cake. And then I'm going to come in with light flirty flamingo, and I'm just going to put a little bit on his nose, and I'm going to fill in this ear here. Okay, and then I'm going to take light pool party, and I'm going to go just a very thin line around his whole body, just to make him look like he has a little bit of shadow, and it makes him look kind of like he's off the tag a little bit. Okay, and that's the bunny. All right, now for the flowers, I'm going to use light old olive for the leaf in the middle of this lower flower. I'm going to use balmy blue for the flower on the bottom here. And I'm going to use dark daffodil delight for the rose looking one. Oops. Okay, and that is the flowers. All right, and then I'm just going to take the flowers, I'm just going to glue it on his neck. Just trying to spread that little bit of glue out all over so it's not too thick. And then I'm just going to put it kind of above his arm. Okay. All right. Put that over there. And now we're going to work with the box. All right, so I'm going to get some glittered organdy ribbon. And I'm going to put it through the hole in the underneath of the flap, and put some ribbon around the back, and then I'm going to just tie a bow on the top of the box. Oops. Oh, I forgot to put it in, but that's okay. Put my pin and the candy in, but that's all right. You don't see the inside of this one anyway. Okay, and then just tie that and cut the edge off of the one side. All right, now what we're going to do is take some dimensionals, and I'm going to put it in all four corners just to keep it down. Well, not four corners, the top, the bottom, and the two sides. Okay, and then I'm just going to center it on below, from the bottom of this flap to the bottom. I'm just going to center the bunny over the ribbon right there. Okay, and now I'm going to take my little Pom Pom. I'm going to put some glue right over the tail that's on the bunny, and I'm just going to hold it down there for actually kind of quite a while to get it to stick nicely. Okay, and then for the final touches, I'm going to be using I'm going to be using solid faceted gems and a rhinestone basic jewel. I'll take a rhinestone basic jewel, the small ones, and I'm just going to put one right in the middle of that flower, the Daffodil Delight flower. And I'm going to use the Balmy blue ones. And this one I did down here, but on this one I'm going to do it different. I'm going to put a large one right up there. And then a small one right there. And then another large one right down there. And that's it. I hope you liked my little pin and treat box. If you have any questions, my email is below. The link to my shop with Stampin' Up is linked below also. Please use this host code for any purchases under $150. Also the link to my blog, which has all the measurements and directions and everything like that. And please subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.